Hey, my name is Liu. Um, I'm a second year CS student in Canada. And before turning 20, I've worked, working at worked at four internships. I'm working on my fourth one right now at places like Wealth Simple, IBM, and two startups previously. Um, I kind of just want to make this video just as a reflection for myself. And if you come by this video, hello. Um, yeah, so how I started, I want to talk about how I started getting into CS. When I was in high school, my older brother went into engineering at the University of Waterloo, and seeing just how how much money he was making, to be honest with you, how much money he was making as co-ops, the stuff he was buying, he was fucking balling, honestly. And I just thought to myself, wow, I really want that life, if that makes sense. I really want to work at these places. I really want to go to Google or Amazon or these big companies with these good benefits. And I used to see all that shit on Twitter, or not on Twitter, on Instagram and social media, where it's like to come the day life of a Google engineer or Amazon engineer, and just seeing all the stuff that they got, all the money they were making, and the life they were living. And this was like much like this was super like um or not extrapolated, but like it was way it was way more emphasized when I got to SF to visit my brother, and I just saw his life, saw the weather, and I thought to myself, yeah, this is what I want to do for the rest of my this is what I want to do as a career. This is where I want to be when I'm 20, when I'm in my 20s. So I'm just gonna work to that goal. And then as soon as I got into high school, my one goal was to get into Waterloo. For those of you that don't know what Waterloo is, it's essentially just like the MIT of Canada. If you got if you got into a STEM program at Waterloo, you're pretty much guaranteed like 5 internships. And for the most part, most people go to the U.S. and a lot of people go into FANG. There's a term here. Maybe it's in the U.S. too, but the term here is Cali or bust. Um, Especially for Waterloo students, and I guess all the CS students in general. If you don't make it to California or SF, you pretty much failed. So Cali or bust. Um, but the main reason was that. But as I got older, um, I realized my family's financial situation wasn't what I thought it was, and that was also another driving factor. When I was younger, um, I was raised by a single mom, so single parent household, and until like 13, I always thought that we were fine. Like I didn't feel like we were poor, or I didn't feel like we needed anything. Um, but as I got older and just like picked up on things, like saw the financials, saw like what we're talking about, the math just didn't make sense. Like we were pulling out money, we were borrowing from our line of credit like crazy. Like it was like 40, $50,000 on the line of credit. Our mortgage was everything. We couldn't make payments at the end of the month. Like it just didn't make sense that we had to borrow so much money. We were eligible for like the max government fund, like the max government subsidies, childcare, OSAP, everything. And I never felt poor because I think my mom did a really good job of making us feel like we had enough. But as I got older, I realized that she wouldn't have enough for retirement, and that was scary. Um, yeah, she didn't have enough for retirement, um, and um, she didn't have the freedom to do what she wanted. Uh, she took care of us since she was like I want to say 30, and she hasn't really had the freedom to go travel or to retire whenever she wanted, because she had to take care of us, and that was hard to realize. Yeah, um, and that's the reason I want to go to the university so bad. Um, yeah, it got to a point I think in senior year where it wasn't about making just a fuck ton of money and balling anymore. It was more just like I want to take care of my family. I want to take care of my mom. I want to take care of everyone I know, because I don't want to think about a life not fulfilled. I don't want her to die or retire, like not be able to retire or enjoy the things that I feel like she deserves to enjoy. Um, and that's the reason I'm making this video. Just like just to tell my story. So yeah, going into university, I didn't get into Waterloo. Obviously, I didn't get into Waterloo. I applied in senior year and I didn't get into any of them. So I had to go to a non-target called McMaster University. It's in Hamilton. Um, Probably none of you know, but it's fine. It's mostly just for like it's a pre med school. So going there for CS was like not ideal, but it was whatever. And in there, in my first year, the main goal for me uh, was to find an internship in the summer, and that was the main goal. So for I want to say like 7 months, I was just grinding for an internship. I had no experience. Um, I had no projects, nothing. And to be honest, when I got rejected, it kind of broke me, like from Waterloo CS. It kind of broke me. Like I tied a lot of my identity to getting into Waterloo. Obviously, like now, it doesn't fucking matter. Like I don't care. But at the time, it was a lot because all my friends were going. So it felt like not only did like most of my career fucked, and I couldn't do what I wanted to do for my family. I just also didn't have any friends at McMaster. Um, so during my time at McMaster at my university, I just locked my like pretty much went to my classes, and after classes I would just code or apply to jobs or fix my resume or build projects. Because I had nothing on my resume. I think I like the stuff I had was like I tutored, and I worked at the community center, and that was about it. I didn't really have any projects. I made some games in high school, but like I kept on getting autoed. I didn't have like a naivety of, oh, I think I'll get into Fang or get into a good company my first internship. I just thought I just really wanted to do something like software development related, anywhere, anything. But I didn't know how hard it was. Like I applied to over 500 jobs at the end, but applying to the first 200, I realized I wasn't getting any interviews, and that was kind of scary. That was really scary. And also during first year, I was trying to transfer, but realistically, I wasn't going to get in. And that was really scary. So then I started applying to everything, like data science, Excel, business roles, data roles, yeah, accounting roles, everything. Because I had started to realize that I was pretty fucked. Like I couldn't find anything, and no one was reaching out to me. And then I started cold emailing. I sent out maybe 50 cold emails, and I heard nothing back until March and April. And then thankfully I landed one. I didn't get the transfer, but I landed one role, and that for me was like a huge relief. And I do think I got lucky, because no one else reached out, and I think the only reason those guys accepted me was because the founder was an alum at my from my university, and I think he just vibed with me, so I think that's the reason um, I got in. And then I guess after the summer internship, I learned a lot there. I learned more in 4 months there than I did in like 4 years of doing CS by myself. But after the summer internship, I decided, fuck it, I'll just apply for fall and I'll apply for winter and I'll just keep on applying every cycle. And the plan was just to study full time or not study full time, but take like 3 4 classes every semester while working full time. And um, to me, like it didn't matter if my mental health or whatever went down or anything like or like not I don't want to say that like obviously I care about my health, but like to me it mattered more about working continuously because like in my mind it was like since I'm already here, I think it'd be such a waste just to wait and find another internship for next summer when I can just find something for winter and for fall. So that's what I did. So in the fall I worked at IBM in Toronto or in Markham, and then after that I started working at Simple for the winter. So that's where I'm working right now. Simple is essentially just like the Robin Hood of Canada. So for Americans, um, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Um, and all those roles are software engineering. I learned a lot. All my teams were pretty cool. Um, and yeah, it felt really good actually because the money I didn't really spend any money for myself. It was the most I spent was like a New York trip with my boys at the end of summer, and that was like 1.5K. But I would say the rest of the money either went straight to school, my savings, or to help out my mom with payments, just like for mortgages or for anything she needed, just as a way of helping out with just stuff. Um, yeah, and now just I mean after that like doing school full time and doing work full time is a lot though. I will say that. And I guess I'm gonna talk about the regrets and I guess the cost of doing what I did. Um, there was definitely a social sacrifice. Like I missed out a lot, especially in my freshman year and sophomore year. I didn't really go to any clubs. I didn't really go clubbing. I didn't really go party. I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. I haven't really done any of those things since senior year. Like I haven't really had fun in that sort of sense senior year of high school. And I guess fun for me now would be like on a weekend, on like a Saturday or Sunday, just go to the library and study for like 8 hours, and then after just go get dinner with like my few close friends at McMaster. Um, Thankfully, first year I did find a couple of good friends at McMaster, and I do enjoy hanging out with them. Um, yeah, but the reality of just balancing out a degree, like studying full time and doing internships full time, it is a lot. Like my day to day is I work 9 to 5, and then after I get off, I just study, and then I go to the gym, and then that's about it. So I didn't really have any time for like just to chill or just to like hang out with friends. The only time I would hang out with them is probably like on weekends, and then like maybe like 1 or 2 hours on the weekdays. But most of the time I was pretty locked in. My health first year was really bad. Like my mental health was really bad. Like I got to a point because I didn't find anything until like April, when I signed. It got to a point where I generally thought that if I didn't find anything, I was going to like just kill myself. Um, that's pretty explicit. It's pretty like bad to say, but it's honest. And I think being honest is better than sugarcoating shit. And that's how I generally felt. People told me like you want to do it, but I mean we don't know now because like I did find something, right? But I did feel like that for sure. Um, and stuff I would just tell myself then, I guess, would just be yeah, just to chill out a little bit. Like I wish I didn't focus or worry so much about finding like a job, essentially, like because it did really ruin my mental health in first year. But um, was it worth it? It was worth it. It was totally worth it. I would do it over and over again. I would do it 10 out of 10 times, 100 out of 100 times. I would do it every single time because being able to support myself, to support my mom, to give some money to my mom, is honestly one of the greatest feelings. Um, yeah, like doing what I'm doing now. It's not an ego thing, but it's more just like I feel like I'm on the path to doing what I promised myself, what I would do for her, um, to give her the choice. Because I felt like all her life, she didn't really have a choice. Like she had to raise us, she had to go to work, she had to work 2 jobs, she had to make these payments, she had to take out these loans, um, and I just want to give her the ability. If she doesn't want to retire, that's fine. But I want to give her the freedom to retire, the freedom to travel, the freedom to do what she wants, the freedom to go be with her grandson. I have a nephew now, and that's also a big thing too. I also want to be able to give him the choice in the future. Obviously, he's like 6 months right now, but in the future when he does get older, I don't want him to have the life that we had, where I had to go into STEM or else I was fucked. Because I didn't think I could make money in music. I didn't think I could be athletic. I don't think I could be an athlete. I couldn't do arts, and I wasn't really good at English or writing. So my only choice is pretty much STEM. Um, yeah, that's what it felt like at least. And I don't want him to live that life. I want him to be able to choose what makes him happy. Obviously work hard towards that goal, but I don't want like anyone in my family again to be forced to do something because they have to. Or yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, and now just looking forward to the future. I guess the goal now isn't about working at X internship or X startup. The goal now is, or it's not a numeric value anymore. It's more just like I want to make enough or be able to in the future, maybe like when I graduate or when I'm 25, to give my family the choice, the freedom of choice at least, the choice to travel, the choice to not work, to do whatever they want. And I think that's the greatest freedom that like a person could have. And I think that's what success is to me, is to have choice. Um, and yeah, honestly, I think getting rejected from the University of Waterloo was probably the best thing to happen to me, because I think if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have worked so hard. I don't necessarily think I'm the smartest person. I don't even think I'm like, I think I'm like average, but I think what separates me, and not to brag, but what separates me from other people at least at my school, is that I feel like I work harder than most of them. Um, I do sacrifice a lot. Like, I can understand if you don't want to do that, because everyone's story is different. If you don't have to do that, don't do that. Like, it's fine. But for me, I felt like with my goals that I want to chase, it was worth it. And yeah, getting rejected made me just work that much harder. It made me work 3 times as hard. I guess 4 times as hard. It doesn't really matter. But like, I just didn't pick up my head essentially. I put my head down and just grinded. And then before I realized it, a year had passed, and now I'm working at my fourth internship. And I guess this video is just kind of like a reflection for me, just to just talk about what I've done, because I don't really ever really think about it too much, because I'm just always working, and yeah, that's about it. If you guys have any questions, probably no one's going to see this shit, but if anyone has any questions, um, I'll try my best to answer that. But that's about it. Yeah.